Okay, so we've got this review and one more, and then we're done with these festival reviews. That's it, we're done. So we got four more movies left to talk about, so let's just keep going. Next is There Is No Evil, an Iranian film by Mohammad Rasulov. This was probably the most surprising film out of all the films that I saw for these festival reviews. This film is an anthology telling 4 different stories all surrounding the death penalty in Iran. What I loved most about this film was how uncompromising it was. This film does not sugarcoat the effect that death has on the individual. The first half an hour of this film kind of felt like something you'd see from a Nuri Bilge Ceylan film or Abbas Kiarostami, but then it takes an incredibly dark turn. I really loved how this film analyzed differences in what people consider ethical behavior. The final story in this film is especially brutal in communicating that theme. This film is deliberately slow because the themes this film communicates can't exactly be told well in a fast-paced action story. That's not to say that there aren't exhilarating sequences in this film, however. The second story especially has an incredibly engaging and well-scored sequence. It was pulled off with just a few amazing long takes. The cinematography was amazing, and like I said, there are some great long takes. This film is incredibly well written, and every story has unexpected twists and turns. The music is awesome and very well composed. There are moments where it feels overused, but I don't remember where, so it obviously didn't bother me that much. The acting is absolutely fantastic, and everybody was well cast. I don't want to say much else about this film because it's best experienced not knowing much about the stories themselves, so I'll just say that this film was honestly and surprisingly great. I hope that you don't skip out on this film just because it's foreign language or it's slower than what you're used to. Skipping it for those reasons just aren't worth it. You're doing yourself a disservice. It's definitely making my best of the year list, and I'll be seeing it again as soon as it releases. I'm giving this film an 8 out of 10. Next is Wolfwalkers. This is the third feature film by Tom Moore. This is the same guy who directed The Secret of Kells, a film that I saw when I was much younger and remember enjoying, and he also directed Song of the Sea, which I haven't seen, but I'm very interested in. I hope that this guy keeps pursuing this style of animation and striving to perfect his craft, because this film was incredibly impressive. Right off the bat, the 2D hand-drawn animation is absolutely breathtaking. I love how Moore's films have distinct color palettes. The Secret of Kells is mostly green, Song of the Sea is mostly blue, and this newest film is very focused on warm colors like red, yellow, and orange. Another thing that surprised me about this was how engaging it was. I went in with the thought that this might become a boring kids movie that I'll lose interest in very quickly, but luckily that wasn't the case. There's quite a lot of exhilarating action sequences, especially in the third act. There were also some interesting choices in presentation that kind of reminded me of Samurai Jack. The premise is very intriguing and original. The voice acting is fantastic, and I always saw the characters rather than the actors. They all had distinct designs and personalities that I connected to. The Irish folksy style music was very well used and added a ton to the scenes they were in. The biggest thing that bugged me with this film were some aspects of the story. There were a few story beats where I found myself kinda wishing that it were changed or rewritten, but when I took time to look at them as part of the whole story, I found myself less bothered by them over time. If I had made this review right after I saw the film, I would probably be much more critical and nitpicky with my thoughts because time sort of helped me forget and even accept some of the issues I had with this film when I considered the bigger picture. The story as a whole, while not mind-blowing, still had a few surprises and twists that caught me off guard, which is definitely the last thing I expected out of this film. Definitely check this out. It's having a minor theatrical run right now, but I don't recommend going to a theater in these times. It's just not worth it. But it is coming out onto Apple TV on December 11th, so if you have Apple TV, then you can watch it when it comes out on December 11th. And I highly recommend that you do. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. I think it's just going to stick that way. I don't think I'm going to change it to an 8. It's just a really solid 7. One more to go. We're almost done. We just got to get one more done, and then we're done with these festival reviews. Thank God. I will be sure to schedule my stuff better next year if online festivals do this whole online thing again next year. If they do that, then I'll be sure to not be such an idiot with my schedule, because I definitely wanted to get all these done in 1 month and then, just work on everything else. But then I obviously wanted to focus on stuff like the horror movies video and some of the reviews I did for MNFKN. So yeah, that was a very poorly timed and very mismanaged on my part. So I'll be sure to do better next time. Yeah, there we go. That's going to be it. You guys will see the next festival review very soon. I actually have it recorded. I recorded them all these festival reviews, the final 3, on the same day. I'm wearing a different shirt, though, and I don't have the Band-Aid on. Yeah. Interesting story. Anyway, I'm gonna head out. I'm Cynic the Critic. I'm going offline for now.